My name is Lisandro Orlov. I am a pastor of the United Evangelical Lutheran Church in Argentina and Uruguay, and I work in Buenos Aires, but now on behalf of the Lutheran World Federation. Also, I promote the plan of action on HIV/AIDS in Latin America and the Caribbean area. I say always, the church need be converted. Sometimes we are close, we are ready to go to convert the others. But the most difficult is how to preach to the converted, how to help the church to be really a church. I need to explain always why a pastor is involved, is engaged in that issue of working and walking with people living with HIV, because there exists a very bad confusion in between a medical diagnosis with a moral diagnosis. When people receive a diagnosis of HIV, then the network of solidarity is broken. The idea of being there, engaged in that issue, means help to rebuild all this link, this network of solidarity broken by the confusion of a medical diagnosis with a moral diagnosis. And then help also to build another different church. We need to discuss not the virus. The virus is not important. The virus is not so strong to call us to meet and discuss. The problem is what is our understanding of the nature of God. We have a God that punishes people with the disease, or we have a God that is always close to that people who that are stigmatized. I love that word, stigma, because each time when Christ appeared to his disciple, he showed his hands, the wounded in his hand, the wounded. That means stigma. The crucified, the resurrected always is the crucified, the person who shows his stigma. And then I understand when I find a people who is stigmatized by the church or by the society, I think there is Christ. This is a reality. I feel where a people is stigmatized by his life, by his race, by many issues. I think there is Christ, and then the church need be there. Me as a pastor, I need be in communion, close to them, invited by them to be in communion with all those who are excluded, stigmatized also from the church and from the society. Working with people with HIV, I discover what means be Lutheran. Really, I enjoy being Lutheran because I discovered the theology of the cross. I began to live really this theology. What means theology of the cross? Means God appear always in a paradoxical way. Never appear in temples or in palace. The three kings look the Messiah in the palace. Never is there. Where? In the hidden place, where we don't want to look, where we don't want to be. Always we have a God paradoxical, always appear where we find cross. There are many crosses. I don't worship the cross. This must be very clear. I don't worship the cross, I worship the person who died in a cross. And I use a cross to remember me. I need to do something to finish with all the cross that this many appear impose on people. The idea is finish with all the cross of prejudice, oppression. We need liberate people of the cross. My strategy is how to promote self-esteem, people, how to preach justification by faith. In a meeting of sexual worker, I arrive there and I preach justification by faith. You are not justified by what you are or what you are doing, what you believe. Then I understand why in the gospel say the prostitute will enter from the very beginning to the kingdom of God. I never understand that. Now I realize God is not going to look his body, the body of the sexual worker, look his mind, his heart. And sometimes the heart and the mind of many sexual workers are more pure than mine. I like when Christ challenged his society, when he healed a leper. It's not a healing process, it's a citizen process, because the people who have a disease was excluded from the right of being citizen in that society, are also member of the church. And when Christ touched, that means he became unclean and need go through a process of purity, because if you touch a leper, people, the society and the religious people consider you a leper like the others. I like that gesture. Scandalize. I want to scandalize my church and my society, embracing all that people who others consider unclean and pure. Then the gesture must be a prophetic gesture. What we are doing is to challenge the scandal. Always when I began to read the Bible, I do two questions. Where is the scandal in that text? Because we domesticated the Bible, and we must recapture, restore the scandal of the gospel. And also, where is the cross? Because the scandal is paid by the cross. Both go together. And now, the people living with HIV teach me that. Always when now I open my Bible, I say, where is the scandal there? Where is the scandal? And where is the cross? When you promote dignity, human right, you promote the presence of somebody else. For instance, the last time I went to the hospital visiting young men close to die, very weak, and I cannot understand completely what he said, because he used to have toxoplasmosis and he have problem to speak, but I understand he wanted to help to move in the bed, to go in a better position. He was so weak. I said, please put your arms on my neck, and I embraced this young man. And when I embraced the young man only to help to change position in the bed, I find I was embracing somebody else. I made this, and also when you promote the human right, you promote the presence of Christ in the life of all the people. I find the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a mirror of the gospel. It began saying all people born equal, and this is what the gospel teach me. The image of God show the rainbow of identity. The Trinity. What is the Trinity? the diversity in communion. Each one continue being different person, but in communion. And that is what the Human Rights Declaration, Universal Human Rights Declaration, is Trinitarian. Show us how all people keeping the right to be different, but all people working together for peace, justice, reconciliation. I think have any kind of different. I read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights from the Gospel, and also the Human Rights Declaration help me to read the Gospel. I find a dialogue. I really, I don't find where is the gap, because I find are so close one of other. I need both. I need both.